All right, so let's talk about the wonderful, wonderful thing known as target panic. If you've been shooting a bow long enough, you know what target panic is, and you're going to get it. And if you're going through it right now, it's okay. It happens to everybody. I've been shooting a bow for 15 or 16 years now, and I went through one of the worst cases of target panic that I ever had, and it always creeps back a little bit, but I found these drills since then that have really helped me. It's helped my friends, my wife, and I'm honestly shooting the best that I ever have right now, so I wanted to share some of these with you. How do you know if you got target panic? One of the most common ones that you hear is if you punch the trigger, any form of punching, whether it's with an index or a thumb button, that's target panic. If whenever you're aiming at the target, if your pin's sitting below the dot and you're trying to bring it up, or if it's locked anywhere, high, low, to the side, and you're trying to bring it in and time it just right, that's a form of target panic. If you just have a lot of anxiety whenever you're shooting, it scares you to hold in the center and you're trying to command that shot, that's a form of target panic, and you're not shooting to the best of your abilities. But the goal is to have this release, even with the trigger release, to go off as a surprise. Okay, let's start out with some of these drills. So one of my favorite drills for the people that are really bad about punching a trigger, whether you shoot a thumb button or an index, I really like to come out here and blank bale. And this isn't something you just do one time and it fixes it. It's something you need to just work on, just like if you were an athlete practicing for a sport. Whatever you're doing, you just got to practice. So get within just a few yards of the target. I don't even care where you hit, and just settle into your trigger and just squeeze it as slow as possible. Do that over and over and over again. The point right now is not to try and hit the middle of the dot. It's to train your brain that it's okay to squeeze that trigger as slowly as you can and work on those fundamentals. Get okay getting into your anchor and getting your thumb or your index finger around the trigger and squeezing it. I would do that a handful of times every single day. Okay, so the second part to this drill, after you've done blank bale a handful of times and you've gotten really comfortable at it, you've relaxed, now move back to 5 or 10 yards. Do the same exact thing, but this time I want you to try and focus on a small point of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the O in the center of the word block. And then I'm just going to hold my pin there and do the same thing I did and just try and work on that. So I'm getting into my anchor, I'm holding on that dot, and I'm slowly squeezing it. Another drill that I really enjoy and I really like, and a lot of people I know really like, is just a reset drill. I saw this from Levi Morgan and I started doing it, and I have a lot of people, my wife included, that she does it. So all you're going to do is you're going to draw back, come into your anchor, and aim at whatever you want to on the target and just hold that. Don't shoot, just aim at it, and as soon as you start to get a little fatigued and you're shaking really bad, let down, and then just do it again. So all you're going to do is draw back, come into your anchor, pick your spot, and aim, and then just let it back down. And do that a few times with your finger on the trigger, just relaxed, focusing on what you're aiming at, so your brain gets used to holding on that dot. Now, moving on to another form of this drill. It's not really a reset because you would actually shoot it, but is to get you some form of training aid release, like this silverback right here. It's a back tension. So what this release does is it has a safety on it, and when you squeeze this safety, you draw your bow back, and this release is set at a certain amount of weight. So once you're anchored in, you let off, and then you just pull, and it goes off. So all you can focus on doing is holding your pin on that dot, waiting for this release to go off, and it helps you with form and creating good back tension. Another step up from that is a hinge release. It's kind of the same thing. You get in, all you can do is focus on aiming at the dot and hinge that release, and it breaks. So you just hinge it and it breaks. These releases have actually helped me a ton because they slow me down and just focus on aiming. I'm really bad about locking low and bringing my pin up to the target. So training with this back tension or this hinge right here really helps me focus on just aiming at the dot and then working through my shot sequence. So I'll draw, get to my click, and I'm just aiming. Whew, until it goes off. Now, this is just a few drills that have really helped me. I recommend doing these every single day. If you go out and you're gonna shoot that day, just do like blank bell or a couple of these drills just a handful of times before you go in to shooting your normal yardage in your practice, and it'll make a world of difference. I'm gonna have a lot more tips coming on here. This is kind of a last minute little video, but if y'all like it, follow me, and I appreciate y'all watching. If you have any questions, just let me know.